Most people think financial confidence comes from making a lot of money. It doesn't. It comes from doing the right small things, consistently, until they become second nature. You don't need a six-figure salary to feel in control of your finances. You just need a few wins under your belt. Real, tangible wins that prove to yourself you can do this. 5 small wins, starting from the one that sets the stage to the one that changes everything. Win number 5. Track every rupee for 1 full month. This might sound boring, and that's exactly why most people avoid it. Then they're surprised when their money disappears before the month ends. But tracking your spending for just 1 month can completely change how you see your finances. It's not about limiting yourself or feeling restricted. It's about finally seeing the reality of where your money goes. And that reality is usually very different from what you imagine. Most people think they have a decent idea of their spending. They believe they're not overspending on food, subscriptions, or small daily purchases. But when they actually track everything, the numbers often tell a different story. Those small, unnoticed expenses add up quickly. The gap between what you think you spend and what you actually spend is where a lot of money quietly slips away. The good part is, you don't need anything complicated to fix this. No fancy apps or tools are required. A simple notebook or basic spreadsheet is enough. Just write down every single expense, every bill, every snack, every online order. Nothing is too small to ignore. At the end of the month, group your spending into categories like food, transport, entertainment, and bills. Once you see everything clearly in front of you, patterns start to appear. You'll instantly notice where you're overspending without needing anyone to tell you. That awareness naturally changes how you make decisions. You start cutting back on unnecessary things without forcing yourself, simply because now you understand your habits. That small shift in awareness is powerful, and it's your first real step toward better financial control. Win number 4. Build a starter emergency fund of PKR 25,000. You've heard about emergency funds. You probably think you need months' worth of expenses saved before it counts. That thinking is exactly what stops you from starting. A small emergency fund, even PKR 25,000, changes your financial life in a way that's hard to put into words until you've actually felt it. Here's what happens without one. Your car breaks down, someone in the family gets sick, your phone stops working, and suddenly you're panicking. You're borrowing from someone, or making financial decisions from a place of desperation. Desperation always costs more. You take worse terms, make impulsive choices, and dig yourself into a hole that takes months to climb out of. Now imagine you have PKR 25,000 sitting in a separate savings account you don't touch. Same emergency happens. You handle it. You're not panicking. You don't borrow. You just solve the problem and move on. That feeling of handling something unexpected without it derailing your entire financial life is what financial confidence actually feels like. PKR 25,000 is enough to give you that. It's not the full emergency fund you'll eventually build, but it's the starter that proves saving is actually possible. Once you hit that number, you'll want to keep going. That momentum is the win. Win number 3. Eliminate one recurring expense you forgot about. Go right now and look at your bank statements from the last 3 months. Not your memory of what you pay for, the actual statements. Look for anything that charges you automatically every month or year. Subscriptions, memberships, auto renewals, services you signed up for and forgot. You will find at least one thing you're paying for that you either don't use or didn't even realize you were still paying for. This is extremely common. The average person is paying for multiple services they barely use, and because the charges are small and automatic, they fly under the radar for months, sometimes years. A streaming service you stopped watching, a fitness app you used for 2 weeks, a cloud storage plan you never needed. Every one of these is money leaving your account every month with nothing in return. Cancel it. Right now, before you move on. The moment you cancel even one thing you don't need, You've just given yourself a raise. That money now stays in your account every month. Maybe it's PKR 500. Maybe it's PKR 2000. The amount doesn't matter. You freed up money that was going nowhere and redirected it somewhere that counts. The habit of auditing your expenses and cutting what doesn't serve you is the real win here. It builds the discipline of looking at your finances critically and making every expense earn its place. Win number 2. Pay off your smallest debt completely. If you have any debt at all, a small loan from family, a credit card balance, a buy now, pay later balance, anything, find the smallest one and destroy it. Not partially. Completely. Zero it out. There's a reason this is called the debt snowball, and it has nothing to do with math. Mathematically, paying off the highest interest debt first might make more sense. But behavior is not math. What keeps people stuck in debt isn't the numbers, it's the feeling that it's impossible, that no matter how much they try, nothing changes. Completely eliminating your smallest debt breaks that feeling. When you go from owing something to owing nothing, even if it was only PKR 10,000, it changes how you see yourself. You see the number hit zero. You feel it. That small victory gives you the motivation to roll that same payment into the next debt. And when that one's gone, you roll it into the next. The snowball builds, but it all starts with that first complete win, going from having a debt to not having it. The psychological reward of that moment is one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term financial confidence. Win number 1. Automate one savings transfer, no matter how small. This is the one that ties everything else together. Not because of the amount. The amount doesn't matter at the start, but because of what it changes about how you think about saving. Most people treat saving as what's left over after spending. They spend all month, and if anything's left, they save it. There's almost never anything left. Saving has to come first, and the only reliable way to make it come first is to make it automatic. Set up a standing instruction at your bank that moves money into savings the moment your income arrives. Even if it's PKR 1000. Even PKR 500. The number is not the point. The habit is the point. When saving is automatic, it stops being a decision. Decisions get skipped when you're busy, stressed, or when something feels more urgent. But when the money moves automatically, it's gone before you even think about it. You adjust your spending to what's left. It feels tight for about 2 weeks. After that, you don't even notice. And slowly, quietly, your savings account grows. Each time you check it and see it slightly larger than last month, something shifts. You start to understand that building wealth isn't about big dramatic moves. It's about systems, and you just built one. That's the biggest small win of all. Because it works while you sleep, while you're busy, while life is happening. Stack that habit over months and years, and it's how ordinary people end up with extraordinary financial security. 5 small wins. And if you stack them in order, each one builds on the last. You start by seeing clearly. Then you create a safety net. Then you stop leaking money. Then you eliminate debt. Then you automate growth. None of these are complicated. None require a high income or a perfect financial situation. They just require you to start, and to keep going long enough to feel the confidence that comes from actually making progress. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below telling me which win you're tackling first. I'll see you in the next one.